Hello and welcome to Ianto, Wales and beyond. So today we're filming in Pontio in Bangor, and we're interviewing local legend here, Mr. Dave Davies. And here he is, Dave. Thank you for coming, Dave,
How are you doing?
agree into this.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, no, it's good. Thank you, mate. So yeah, we're going to be dealing with talking about Dave's life, his career from juniors to amateur to professional boxing, the ups and downs of his career, what he's done after retiring, and then he's going to give some tips then to upcoming boxers and a little bit of mentorship and things. So that's the plan for the podcast, so I hope you enjoy it. So Dave, without any further ado, if you'd like to just let the audience know who you are and a little bit about your early life, and then we'll take it from there, mate.
Well, do I say about all the fights?
Well, just start off, Dave, with you when you first started as a junior here in Bangor, and just let people know your history and dates and stuff, you know.
I started boxing when I was just coming on 15, and I went and I boxed in the Bangor YMCA for Bangor, and Neville Robinson was my trainer, and I got the utmost respect for him, and I boxed for Wales numbers of times all over the world, and I boxed for Great Britain, captain of Great Britain, and I turned professional, and I was Light-Middleweight champion of Wales, and I held that for a few years, and then I got beat by Pat Thomas, who I'd beaten 3 times previous. But he beat me fair and square that night. But I went the distance and gave me a good fight. And,
okay, so Dave, do you know, was the junior boxing, because obviously we're going to have a lot of people who don't know you, and we're going to have people who do know you, obviously, because you know everyone around here knows you really well. So just to give the people who don't know the area that well, or what goes on in this part of North Wales, if you could just... Was the boxing gym them days, was it in Bangor, was it in Maesty, or where was it?
It was in Bangor, in Upper Bangor. Upper Bangor, YMCA.
Ah, okay. And it did have all the equipment there, was it like a posh gym and stuff?
Sparring partners, everything, I couldn't fault them. And my brothers boxed as well.
Okay.
And yeah, my brother was junior champion, and Les was a professional boxer with Terry Downs, and they were good boxers. And I had plenty of sparring of them, and they helped me to do what it would go pretty good. And I thank them.
And who's the trainer in that particular gym then?
Neville Robinson.
Neville Robinson.
A great man.
And he just used to train, was it just juniors and amateurs?
Juniors
or was it everyone?
Men.
Oh, so everyone used to go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Juniors and seniors.
And did you just have to pay to go into the boxing in them days, or was it?
Just a few bob.
Just a few bob, was it? Yeah.
Nothing serious.
Yeah, and who helped them with getting all the equipment and stuff then? Was it just a community thing, or?
The sponsors and all that, you know.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, different people, you know.
Okay.
And when I started making a name for myself, Lonsdale sponsored me. Sammy Lewis had the sports shop in Bangor. Remember Sammy?
Yes, I do remember Sammy.
And a very good friend of mine. Well, respect to him.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
He was good with me.
Yeah.
Give me a lot of stuff. So
Dave, my question at the moment is, so the place in Upper Bangor where you're talking about now, this is where you predominantly were a junior boxer?
And a senior when I was international.
Okay, so that was all amateur going on there.
And then when I turned professional.
Okay, so you've got your first sponsorship while you were fighting out.
I had my first professional fight at Wembley, and I knocked him out in the first round.
Okay, how old were you then?
Very good fighter from Cardiff.
And that was for the Welsh Junior Championship?
No, that was a professional fight.
Okay. So what was your first junior title then, Dave?
When the North Wales Championship before I won the Welsh.
Okay. And how old were you then?
I was 15.
15, oh, fair play. What year was that, Dave?
That'd be 1963.
63? Wow.
Been in a few years.
Yeah, wow. Amazing.
Yeah,
Fair play.
good memories.
Yeah, I bet,
Yeah, very good.
No, it's good to remember these things. So you won the North Wales one then, so did you go for the full Wales one after? Is that how it works? Or?
Yeah, but I won the Junior B then.
Okay.
And I won the 16 one. And then I came senior, and then I boxed senior for the Welsh. But the first year I won it was 1968. 67.
67.
The first international I had in the Plaza.
And that was, in the 67 for the whole of Wales then, basically?
Yeah, the Welsh title. Yeah.
The Welsh title.
As a senior.
A senior amateur fighter. You've got to excuse me, I'm not up with my boxing completely. So just so the audience knows.
I was 19 when I had my first international.
19?
19.
Okay, so you were representing Wales, basically?
Yeah, against Scotland.
I bet, yeah, okay. And did you win?
I won.
Yeah?
Dennis Wilson, I fought. Good fighter.
And were you always fighting the same weight, Dave, or were you putting weight on as you got older?
I was light welterweight, and then I went up to welterweight, and the only man to reckon would have won 3 British titles on the trot if I would have got the third defended. But they reckon it was a dubious decision.
And that was all the same weight, or are these all different weights?
Light welter, and defended the welterweight then.
Okay, yeah.
And then I would have 3 British titles on the trots.
Oh, right. So you just missed out on that?
Well, I did miss out, and they reckon it was dubious decision. Everybody said that.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah, boxing can be a bit of a funny one with these
sometimes
results.
other fighters have had it. I am not the only one.
Do you think boxing in general is quite fair, or do you think it can
Sometimes it can be, but most times it is. I'll be truthful.
It is? Is that your experience?
That's my experience.
Okay.
But it can be.
Because at higher level, there's a lot of money involved, isn't it, Dave, you know?
Yeah, of course. That's our professional, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so when you then moved into fighting internationally then for Wales, so you're
fighting the top men from their country.
Yeah.
I was fighting people from Hungary, and I boxed them in the European Championships, and I was coloured. All my body was all coloured black. And when best body puncher I've ever had, Kaji, and he beat me on points, and I went the distance with, and he was a knockout merchant.
Yeah.
And he said I was
strong guy.
Very hitter, and he beat me on points in the European Championships in 1971 in Madrid.
When you're fighting at that level, Dave, you know, you've done
Because you're fighting their men, which they are professionals, but they're amateurs, if you understand. They put them in the army.
Yeah.
But they're still amateurs. But they're best men, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
They're fighting for their country.
So who else did you fight for when you were fighting for Wales then, Dave? Did you go US, anywhere, Africa?
I fought against Irish, a great Olympic bronze medalist, Jim McCourt. Boxed him twice. Good fight.
Yeah. Here in Wales or in Ireland?
In Porthcawl, South Wales, and in Dublin, in Ireland.
So you travelled around a bit?
Yeah, travelled everywhere, yeah.
Great experience.
Great. Madrid, Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
Great country.
Did you do the US at all?
Boxed against the US in this country. And I was captain of the British team.
Oh yeah?
The only Welshman, yes.
That's an achievement.
Yeah, captain of the British team.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Yeah.
1972.
1972. Okay.
Yeah.
And what weight was that then?
I was welterweight then.
Welterweight. Is that your most comfortable weight, Dave, out of them all, do you think?
Light middle when I was pro, because I had job doing the weights at light welterweight. But light middle was pretty, still hard to do it, but it was a lot easier than the other weights.
Yeah. How did you used to cut weight, Dave?
Near enough starved myself, literally. And that's, other fighters have been through it.
Yeah.
I couldn't drink.
Sweating and...
Couldn't drink. I don't talk about beer. I mean liquids. That's a dear, you know.
And then you can eat as soon as you had the weight.
Once you make the weight in an amateur, 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and as a pro, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can eat anything or drink anything, but you don't feel like nothing, and your body's got used to not taking much. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. yeah.
You can go in the ring quite heavy then.
Did you used to find that it's quite draining fitness-wise?
I'd be dead thirsty the night before the fight. Sometimes I couldn't sleep because I had to make, I was that anxious, I had to make the weight at 10 and a half stone, which I was welterweight, 147 pounds, and I had a job making the weight. But I always did it.
And you get your strength back within a few days, or within
the day of the fight, you're fighting on the telly, which I was usually fought like with Coleman, and I was fighting that this night against Terry Wall, and I made the weight at in the morning then. Once you can go in the ring, you don't win stones over, but you go in anyway because you made the weight at the Pacific time.
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean?
it's no big deal if you get over. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it?
Great memories.
Yeah, sounds it, mate.
And you're best of friends with them after the fight, you know.
And in them days, I guess the culture was to go and have a pint, wasn't it?
Oh, we had a few jars after the fight, oh, definitely, yeah.
So you'd be going to all these new places all over the place and getting
Hilton Hotel, London and everything great.
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
Yeah, some great people I met.
Yeah, you said you went to Italy as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were in Italy?
Boxed in Italy.
Yeah.
Boxed a fella named Angelo Jacopucci, good boxer.
Yeah, which part of Italy was that then?
Rome.
Oh, in Rome?
Great city.
Yeah.
Had a good time after the fight.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And where was that? Where were you fighting? In just a big building they had there? Or was it like a big arena?
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, because they've got amazing architecture there.
Nice city, very nice city.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet, but I've been close to it. So.
And the people were nice.
I like Italian people.
Oh,
nice.
yeah, they were great. They were good to me.
Yeah.
And Spain, of course, Madrid.
What was Madrid like then, Dave?
Very good. And another place I boxed, Norway, had a good win against Eric Poulsen, who was the European champion, and I beat him.
Okay.
When I was amateur.
Yeah, well done. Okay, so I was going to talk a little bit now about you when you turned professional, then Dave. So do you want to cover anything at all about the amateurs you haven't mentioned, or is there any highlight on the amateurs that you haven't mentioned, or do you want to should we just move on to the professional side now, I think? Just met some great people, you know, met so many people, it's unbelievable, you know. Yeah, so how many amateur fights did you have?
I had over 100 and odd that's all together.
Yeah, wow.
And then I had 40 odd professional fights.
Yeah, excellent, wow.
Fought in all the countries.
So what made you decide to go professional, Dave?
Well, I got knocked back when I got robbed of my third British title as an amateur. I was disappointed when I lost against Trevor Francis, and I'm not just saying that. And everybody said I should have won the fight, and I'd have won three never been known before, and I don't know if it's been beaten now to this day.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got two, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which is still a hell of an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah. Not blaming the opponents, but it was the judges.
Yeah, I know, it can be harsh, can't it?
Other fighters have had it, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but they remember it, they say I was right.
And in them days, how did they score it, Dave? Is it about how many times you hit the person, is it?
Well, it's just on to get catching on target. I don't know much about how they score, I just know you punch, but from there upwards, it's a target. Body shots, any connection is basically a point. Or whatever it is, I don't know how they do it.
Do you get points for blocking and stuff? Well,
no, as far as I know, it's all connected.
When you're going in, okay.
You know what I mean? But you don't want to get hit, of course.
No, of course not.
You defend yourself, you know.
Yeah. So, how old were you when you went professional then?
I was 24.
24. And was that a big step up, Dave? You know, financially, did you have to find a new gym, or did you have a new trainer?
And then I got to thank Alan Rudkin, who fought for the world title. He was my manager, Alan Rudkin, and he took me quite far. You know, I was fought a lot of good fighters, and
Where were you training? Here in Wales?
I was in Liverpool then, and then
In Liverpool?
but Bangor I was training as well as Liverpool.
Okay, so you do a couple of days there, a couple of days there, type of thing.
Then perhaps a week there, and all that, you know.
And were you getting paid then, Dave?
I was getting paid, I was getting
Yeah.
professional, and
So,
I told you.
yeah. Yeah. Good days, I do.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah. So, what was your first professional fight, Dave? Can you remember it?
Well, they sort of good. It was from Cardiff,
Okay.
and I boxed him at Wembley. Chris Finnegan was fighting Bob Foster for the World Light Heavyweight Championship, and I was on the bill, and they knocked him out in the first round.
Oh, so it's your first
Sensational
professional
win.
bout. That's a good start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good start.
Yeah.
So, tell us, what are the highlights of your professional career then, Dave? You know, did you fight any guys who went on to become world champions?
Well, Maurice Hope went and ended up world champion.
Maurice Hope. You fought him then?
Maurice
And where
Hope.
was that, in London? Oh.
In London, Crystal Palace.
Wow, okay.
In the
Crystal Palace.
Hilton Hotel in Crystal Palace.
Nice. Yeah.
They were all,
Big show.
very big show.
Yeah.
And a nice fella, Maurice Hope. Very nice.
Was he?
Yeah, nice fella.
Where was he from, Dave? Do you remember?
I think he's from Hackney, London. I know he's a Cockney.
Yeah. I remember Maurice Hope's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then, so you just lost to him?
I lost to him, yeah.
And what was that, a close fight, or how did you think that went? Or was he just a really good boxer?
He beat me that fight. He beat me, you know what I mean.
Good boxer then?
Oh, good boxer.
Yeah. And then he
But
went...
he said I'd give him a good fight, you know.
Yeah. And then he went on then to...
He ended on for he won the European and then the World Championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, you know...
So I was proud to have boxed him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, amazing achievement. Amazing achievement.
Yeah. I boxed John H. Tracy, who was world welterweight champion, and I boxed him very narrow. I boxed him in the ABA semi-finals in Manchester, in Bellevue, and I'm not saying I was wrong, but it was a close fight.
Yeah.
I think he just beat me, to be fair to him, but he ended up world champion. John
Were
H. Tracy.
you representing Wales at the time?
I was professional then,
You were professional?
but I was admitted to them when I was boxed John H. Tracy.
Oh, okay. So he was your main amateur one, bar for the Commonwealth Games?
And Maurice Hope fought me as a pro.
Yeah.
And then I was, well, you know, the Commonwealth Games. A lot of people still say to me I was robbed of them, you know.
Yeah, how old were you at the Commonwealth Games?
I was 22.
22, so that's your biggest fight, really, in one sense.
Really. I had 4 fights to get to the final.
Okay.
And they were all pretty hard for Nigerians and all the hard men.
Yeah, tough, big guys.
Yeah.
So you got the silver medal for that?
I got a silver. A lot of people say I should have had the gold.
Yeah.
Harry Carpenter thought I should have.
Did he? Oh, Harry. Yeah, Bruno, wasn't he?
Nice fella, Harry Carpenter.
Yeah, right, yeah. Wow, amazing, Dave.
Yes.
So, have you got any other little gems of anything that you want to share with the people now, Dave? You know, like some
Just that's all I'll just say.
That you remember.
That's the only thing I'll say. Is Alan Ritkin was a great man. Sadly, he's passed away, and he was a good manager and a nice fella, a gentleman of a man. And Neville Robertson put me on the road to where I went, and he was my amateur trainer for years, and I got the utmost respect for him. I never for there.
Yeah.
How's that?
Nice, Dave. Yeah, nice, very nice. So, just you know, we're not going to keep you too long now, but so. What age were you when you retired then, Dave? I
retired when I was coming on 30 odd.
Okay, and was the body starting to feel it then, Dave? And
I found getting up in the morning, do it for 6:30, doing the road work a bit hard in the end, you know what I mean? And getting up all weathers, you had to do your road work. You could do the work, you get the results. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I found out.
Yeah.
My manager, I called him some names, but he was right to get me out.
Yeah, so just let them know what your routine was to get to that level, Dave, at that time.
Getting up half six to 7, going on the road, doing 3 to 5 miles, sprinting, jogging, sprinting, and all speed and all that. And then in the gym in the daytime at 11 o'clock, then go back for the sparring thing. And then if your weight was not too bad, eat a little tea, but I had to watch my weight because 6 weeks before a fight, and then in bed for 8 o'clock. Do the same thing for 6 weeks, and I'd be in nick. No drinks, no liquids. Just dedication. You've got to live like a monk, if you understand. Not knocking it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, you got.
Does that sound alright?
Yeah, of course it does. You know, I was in the Paris and.
You've got to put in the work.
You're not going to manage them 10-mile runs if you don't practice beforehand.
You got it. Yeah.
And you know, carrying that weight and
you've got to make the weight, plastic bags on you, then your tracksuit, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And then skipping, good for you to lose weight. Yeah. I found it.
Yeah. So did you miss the boxing once you retired, Dave, a little bit?
I've always missed it, and it's 70, coming on 78 now, and I still miss it, to be honest. It was my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I loved, you know, I didn't like getting hit, but that's part of the business.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't, you've got to take a punch. Nobody likes getting hit, but you know what I mean. But that goes with the business.
Yeah.
I like my nose like a spring ball.
Oh yeah.
But I reckon it's the best sport in the world. I want to be.
Yeah.
Dedicate. You got to train hard in boxing because it's a one-man band, as I say. You've got to be in condition, and then I found out you put up a good show.
I used to do Thai boxing, but I was never very good at boxing.
No, you had to go up, fair play to you.
Yeah, but my friends who I mates with, you know, were far better boxers, and
no, you had to go, fair play to you.
I used to admire the skill of boxing itself, you know, because it's an art, isn't it?
Of course. Going behind the jab.
Do you know what I mean? And you know, you watch some of these older people, older fellas who train still and stuff, and you see their old techniques and all that. Yeah, you know, that's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah. I loved every bit of it. Like I said, I'm one of the people, I still miss it now.
Yeah. Do you still watch boxing on TV?
Still go to they invite me to shows now and then.
Yeah, so you like all that.
I get invited and always invite me in the ring whenever I go, you know what I mean?
Well, you deserve that.
That's nice.
And it's I like to see the fact now that more people are getting you on their shows and doing little documentaries and little clips on you and stuff, which you deserve. So, you know, and I'm glad that you've come on today. And
thank you very much.
Thank
you to the both of you for putting me on in it.
No. You've got a nice story that needs to be shared, Dave. You know, these are the little gems in our community that we need to
thanks very much.
To savour, you know. So,
and there's a lot of people in my sketch that should do a bit of boxing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, have you got any, what's your pointers for any young people now, Dave?
The only thing I'll say is the main thing, first and foremost, you've got to be dedicated. Because if you don't, in the boxing, I can't talk for other sports, I can talk about boxing, it's a one-man band, as I say. You've got to be fit going in that ring, and you put up a good show. That's the way I found it. And you will give a fight then. And you most probably wins, you know, which I did. And I was lucky some decision, but that's part of the business.
Yeah. And you'll get your break one way or another. You might, you know, if you're lucky to fight someone really good, but if you maintain it, you'll get the wins now.
Of course you will.
You know, not everyone starts with a win straight away. Some of them lose a couple and then they win, you know.
Yeah, even the greats just get beat.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's good and humbling sometimes.
And I think one of the best boxers that's from Britain is at the moment, he's a Welshman, Joe Galzaki.
Yeah.
That's one of the best. There's some good ones from Britain. I boxed and built with,
Joe's unbeaten though, isn't he? You know, he doesn't get the total respect that he deserves because what he's done. I don't think he lost, did he, in his career?
Yeah, he's a good.
You know, especially at middleweight when you've got so
hard
many
weight.
different,
Many.
you know.
I've never boxed on
He
middleweight.
fought Roy Jones Jr. I think Bernard Hopkins. And considering Joe as well, you know, had some hand and wrist and knuckle injuries, which don't help, do they?
But there's been some great British boxers, to be honest, over the years.
Yeah, I used to like Lennox Lewis, and I used to like some of the big heavyweight ones. You know, I used to love watching.
John Conte, who boxed on bills with me, he was a good fighter.
Do you remember Lloyd Hennigan?
Lloyd Hennigan, good
was
fighter.
Good, wasn't he?
Yeah, Lloyd Hennigan.
Yeah.
Colin Jones from South Wales, good fighter.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Great man, Howard Winston.
Yeah.
Daddy's gone, was a great boxer.
My mum was friends with one during the Second World War. He moved to Llandudno.
Randolph Turpin,
yeah.
Great, before my time, but a great man.
Yeah,
he beat one of the greatest boxers of all time, who will go down the history, which he is, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh wow, yeah.
And Sugar Ray Robinson's a great man.
And he lived here in Llandudno that way, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moved to this area after the war, didn't he? Or during the war.
He was from Leamington Spa, he was, the Midlands, but he lived in Llandudno for years.
Yeah.
On the Great Hall.
And he was a top fucking boxer.
And I boxed in Llandudno in the Grand Hotel a few times. That's some good fights there.
Yeah, nice venue.
Yeah, Grand Hotel. You know the Grand Hotel with the pier?
Yeah. Nice. Right then, Dave.
How's that?
I really enjoyed that, and I'm really grateful that you've come on, and it's really nice. So, I hope everyone's enjoyed this episode of Ianto, Wales and Beyond. Filming Dave and getting to know Dave here in Bangor, and no, my pleasure, and enjoy. And thank you all for joining us. Take care.